Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we are going to continue to talk about Officer and Gentleman. That's right, Officer and a Gentleman, that lovely romantic movie that we all love from 1982. Yeah, it was a great year. I remember that. It was the Reagan era, the early 80s. Everyone was pro-America. Well, that's what the media was shilling at the time. Everything was pro-America and Reaganomics, and Reagan was, just this incredible fucking leader that we had. He was gonna protect the whole world for democracy and all that kind of bullshit. And Russia was the fucking enemy back then, and we were scared to death of the fucking Russians. Yeah, it was quite a time. It was quite a time. They even tried to assassinate Reagan. That's how you know he's popular, when they fucking tried to assassinate him. Okay, and the guy that did it, I think his name was Mark Steven Johnson, or it might have been, what's his name? Ralph Hinkey. Sorry, Ralph Hinkey. Or John Hinckley, or something like that. Yeah, that guy did it for Jodie Foster. He was in love with Jodie Foster, so he thought she would love him back if he killed President Reagan. He did not know that she was a fucking lesbian. Well, it's Jodie Foster's fault. I mean, he would call her. He got her phone number. She was going to Yale at the time, and he got her phone number. He would call her, and she actually would talk to him on the phone. I mean, talk about leading him on. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that really happened. Okay, the 80s were quite a time. I was a little kid at the time. I don't remember too much about it. I just remember from like a little kid. I remember like the Saturday morning cartoons and shit like that. I most certainly did not watch this movie when it came out, but I do remember my parents talked about it. I remember my parents' friends talked about it, especially my mom's girlfriends, Richard Gere, so fucking hot and all this kind of shit, So I didn't really pay attention to it. I didn't give a shit what the movie was about. I had no idea what the movie was about, and I couldn't fucking care less. I wanted to watch my fucking cartoons. That's all I pretty much cared about, and play my, I was playing soccer at the time, so I was on my soccer team and going to school and fucking watching my cartoons. That's all I give a shit about. When in the 90s, though, when I decided to join the Marines, after I signed the contract, I had a couple of weeks before I had to go, to boot camp in San Diego. So I thought I would watch a bunch of movies, military movies, so I could kind of prepare myself for what was coming. Okay, and one of the movies that I watched was Officer and Gentleman. Okay, so that's the first time I watched it. I was already an adult. I was a grown man when I watched Officer and Gentleman for the first time, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty cool. I had no idea that the boot camp he went through and the boot camp I went through was two completely fucking different basic trainings. Okay, he was at a fucking resort. Okay, he was at a fucking Disney World. Okay, compared to what I had to fucking go through. I had nothing like that. That's fucking for sure. All right. So it didn't prepare me that much, but it did warn me as far as like after I finished boot camp, like what to expect. Like the girls are waiting for you. They know you've got a fucking contract. They know you got a steady paycheck. They know that you've got fucking benefits like insurance and all that kind of stuff. They're gonna give you a place to live. They're gonna give you money for food. So you don't have to do fucking shit if you latch onto a fucking active duty fucking military man. And a lot of girls know that. Okay, so they need somebody to fucking take care of their because they're single moms and need someone to fucking pay for their fucking weed and their alcohol, because they don't want to fucking work, they don't have to, right? Okay, and that kind of thing. So yeah, of course they want to latch onto you, absolutely. And if they like you as well, even better. That's just icing on the cake. But it's not essential. Okay, just get you out of that fucking shithole town. Okay, because all the towns that are outside of military bases are all fucking shithole, honky tonk, rinky dink fucking towns that you don't want to fucking live in. Okay, the only reason we were there because we were stationed there. Okay, but the people that actually live there, the civilians that actually live outside of the base, man, they fucking hate their lives. They don't want to fucking live there. Okay, it fucking sucks. It sucks to grow up there. It sucks to be a boy. It sucks to be a man there. Okay, because all the women that are there, they end up fucking all the military guys. Because you got to remember, the military guys come from all over the country. They come from all different cities, different parts of the United States. Okay, so they have culture. They bring with them that experience. Okay, if you grew up in fucking Jerkwater, fucking Tennessee, okay, and here's a guy that's from fucking Miami, he knows a hell of a lot more about that person's gonna teach you a hell of a lot more about life than the guys you went to school with in Jerkwater, fucking Kansas. Okay, you see what I mean? Okay, or you come from Washington State or Seattle or from Chicago or like me, or whatever. People come from all different parts of the country. They bring their culture with them. Okay, and for girls that grew up in fucking Jerkwater, Arkansas, and here's this fucking guy, who knows how to do shit, from his hometown, like me for Chicago, for example. I could talk about the Cubs, I could talk about the Bulls, I could talk about all Chicago history, all that kind of shit like that. You think she fucking knows any of that shit in fucking Jerkwater, fucking Missouri? Fuck, no, she doesn't. So of course they're attracted to guys like that. Okay, if they want to fucking date a local boy, they grew up with those guys. They already fucked those guys. They want someone different. You see what I mean? And that's why the military guys are so fucking so attractive to them, is because we have this culture that they don't have. okay? Because we come from different parts of the country. We bring that with us in the military, okay? We also have the benefits, like I said, we get the housing, the steady paycheck, all that kind of shit is a fucking attractive, especially if you're a girl who grew up in a jerkwater town and you want to get the fuck out. Okay, so absolutely. Okay, I didn't know any of this shit when I went in. Like I was a young man. I wasn't as sophisticated and as well educated as I am now. So I didn't know any better. I learned this shit the hard way. Luckily, I didn't fall for some of the traps that some of my compatriots did. Some of the guys that I went to school with, some of the guys that I went to to boot camp with, okay, or I was in the military with. They fell for a lot of these fucking traps, okay. And I remember very, very well watching this movie, and I remember, oh my God, that was almost me. That could have easily happened to me, okay? Thank God I watched Officer and Gentleman before I went in, okay? Because I saw this stuff play out in real life. And because this movie, even though I think this movie, I think Officer and Gentleman was made for guys, I really think it was. It was based on the writer of the screenplay. I think his name was Stewart, David Stewart or something, or what the hell was his name? It was something Stewart. I can't find it here anyway. Where's it here? Trent Battle, Jeffrey Jason Leigh, no. Douglas Stewart wrote this, okay, and he based it on his own experiences going to OCS school, but his was in Florida, okay, and so even though this movie was written by him, I think it was made for guys. Honestly, I really think it was, and it was to get guys to join the Navy. Hey, you're gonna get laid, but also to watch out. Kind of like a recruitment video for guys that want to join the military. It's like, yes, there's good things. You get to fuck hot girls like Deborah Winger, but also you got to watch out for some of these girls, okay? Because they're gonna try to trap you, okay? I think that's kind of what it was, because the whole movie is told from the point of view of Zach Mayo, okay? It's his movie. He's the main character, okay? And he is the guy. He acts like a guy. He's a man, okay? He has the pitfalls that a lot of guys I know, including myself, have. He's got the same defects of character that I have, or have had, that I still have. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, maybe some of you agree that I still have those defects of character that he does in this movie. I probably do. I'm not sure. But he acts like a man. Okay, and I understand his decision. I relate to the character very well. I did back then as well. When I first watched this movie, so I understand Zach Mayo. Okay, and everything's told from his point of view. Okay, so you have to relate to him. You have to be on his side. Okay, so in that sense, you can get the guys in there. But I think the way what happened, I think while they were making the movie, they realized that the movie wasn't about Zach growing up, okay? It wasn't a coming of age of a man becoming from going to be an asshole to being a fucking officer and a gentleman, because that's what the story's about. It's about how he matures himself and becomes a responsible, unselfish person, because when he first started off, he was a fucking asshole. He was an asshole because he had a horrible childhood, okay? I mean, he grew up fucking whore since he was a little kid, okay? Which ain't that bad, but his mother committed suicide and his dad fucking didn't want him. So he grew up with those setbacks as well, okay? So I think the movie was meant to empathize with guys that felt like that, to get you out of that. Okay, I think that's kind of what they were trying to do when they made the movie. I think somewhere along, maybe it was the editing process or something, they realized that the main story here wasn't about Zach becoming a gentleman. I think the main story was about Paula falling in love with him. I think that took center stage. Okay, because I think a lot of that was just Deborah Winger. I mean, she just acted the hell out of it, and her character was very well written. Okay, she acted very feminine, and Zach acted very masculine. Okay, now today in 2023, you're not gonna fucking see that. Okay, women aren't allowed to be feminine in movies and TV shows anymore. They got to be alpha. They got to be masculine. The men are the ones that are expected to be feminine today. So a movie like this would never get made in 2023. It wouldn't be allowed. Hollywood would never allow it to be aired anywhere. Okay, excuse me. So but back in 1982, it wasn't like that, okay? Paula was very feminine. Not only does she dress like a girl, okay, except when she's working at the factory, but everyone dresses down when they're at work at the factory, okay? She wears dresses, she wears heels, she does her hair, she's concerned with, she does her makeup, she's all that kind of stuff. She's into girly things, she reads Cosmo, okay? She's into very girly things. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And she even fucking cooks some breakfast the next day in the fucking motel room. What the fuck woman even does that today? Nobody, okay? You see what I mean? So she's very feminine. And then you've got Zach, and he brings his masculinity because his dad was an alpha male. His dad was a fucking, a bragger, a fucking guy who likes to fuck girls and get drunk all the time. So he brings that, he was raised that way. So he brings that with him, okay? Although he's more subdued, I think, than his father was, okay? He doesn't actually like his father very much, okay? So he brings that with him. He's very stoic, he doesn't just wear his emotions on his sleeve. He doesn't do that, which is also a masculine trait, okay? Whereas Paula does. You know, if she's upset or she's sad, you see it. You see it on her face. She ain't hiding it, okay? She tries to hide it with her words, but you can tell, you read between the lines. Look at what she's saying, then look at what she's doing, okay? They don't match, okay? You can tell that she's into this guy while she's acting very coy like she's not, okay? She says, oh, I don't care. I know you're just here to have sex. You know, I just want to have fun with you. That's fine. That's all I care about, okay? But you can tell that if that's how you feel, why you keep asking him questions about his personal life, you know, because you want to get to know him more. That's why. Okay, so you can see through that, okay? Women pull that trick all the fucking time, okay? So, yes, okay, so in that sense, these two characters have incredible chemistry together. Even though they did not like each other when they were making the movie, they became friends later on, years after this movie came out. Okay, Richard Gere did not want to make this movie. He did it for a paycheck. He's been on record saying that. This was a paycheck for me, okay? It was a major motion picture, and I was stuck doing fucking TV episodes, and I wanted to do a major motion picture, okay? So for him, it was just a paycheck. He had no idea it was going to be the most successful movie of his career. Yes, I'm talking about comparing that to Primal Fear and Pretty Woman and all the other stuff that he did later on, okay? And American Gigolo, okay? This was his most successful film in his career, okay? And very well acted. He deserved all the accolades he got. Okay, he was very good in this movie. So you bring these two energies here, the masculine and the feminine. And obviously, you know, the women are going to relate to Paula because she acts like them. You know, for every woman out there that grew up in a fucking shithole, jerkwater fucking Mississippi next to a fucking military base, okay, they know exactly what Paula's going through. They know exactly the kind of job opportunities they have there in that shithole town. Their only opportunity is to hook up with a military guy, okay? So a lot of women related to that, and the word of mouth spread, and it ended up being a story about Paula falling in love with Zach, okay? Because I think the women really understood Paula a lot, more so than the men, because once they figured that out, I think maybe in the editing process, because originally when they were editing this movie, the ending at the end, they filmed it, but they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to put it in there. They filmed it just because it was in the script. But they didn't necessarily they were going to cut that scene out. Okay, because they thought the movie was about him graduating OCS school, okay? When it wasn't. It was about him becoming a gentleman, okay? And the testament of him becoming a gentleman is he takes the girl. He realizes at the end that he loves this girl, okay? I know I'm ruining it for you, okay? But if you're watching this, you've already seen the fucking movie, okay? So that was added, that scene was included in the editing. Because while they were filming that scene, all the extras that they hired for that scene, okay, all were clapping and shit and going crazy at that scene. You got a guy walking in his alpha uniform, you know, and they were all going crazy. So they, well, you know, Richard Gere saw it. He saw the dailies. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should keep the scene in there. You know, it really works. You know, and that's why they kept it. And I think that's what makes the movie, that scene at the end. Okay, because I did not see that coming at all. No pun intended. I did not see it coming at all when the first time I watched it. I thought the movie was over when he got on his motorcycle and looked at fucking OCS for the last time. But no, it didn't end quite right there. Okay, so I like the ending a lot. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. My name's Diego. I'm gonna give you the honest straight guy's point of view of this movie. For all you ladies out there that watch, I know it's most of you ladies that are watching this. I'm gonna tell you the fucking truth. That's what your dad didn't tell you, your boyfriend didn't tell you, your husband didn't tell you. I got nothing to gain by lying to you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you honestly, and I'm a veteran. Okay, I've been in this situation. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, you guys are watching this, you know it too. Okay, if you've been in the military like I was, you're stationed in the military base like I was, you know this fucking situation as well. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my own anecdotes here, tell you what was bullshit and what was really good. Luckily, I actually enjoyed this movie, so I don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. But when I do see something that's bullshit, I'm gonna call it out. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a big fucking dose of truth, straight up, baby, with no lube, no lube. Okay, the real question you need to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because I don't think you can. In fact, I know you can. I know you can. All right? So let's continue where we left off. Now, where we left off last time, okay, we had Paula and Zach were having sex in a motel room, getting fucking drunk, okay? He basically told her, come over here, I'll give you a good fuck. And she's like, don't talk to me that way. He's like, well, then get the fuck out of here. Basically, that's what happened. He's all upset because he got into a fight that night with some fucking honky-tonk guys that were jealous of them being in the military and taking all their women, so they decided to do something about it. Well, Zach beat the shit out of the guy because he got in his face and knocked over his hat, his cover. So Zach used his fucking taekwondo and roundhouse. Well, the stunt double did. But but anyway, but he roundhouses him, okay, breaks the guy's nose, okay, and what do you call it? And so he's upset that he got that way. Now, he learned how to fight when he was a kid because he got bullied when he was in the Philippines, living there because his dad was stationed there in the Navy. Okay, so here he learned how to fight. Okay, we figure that out now. That's how he learned how to fight. Okay, but he's upset that he acted that way. He's really pissed off that he allowed his anger to take over because he's trying to suppress it, but he allowed his anger to take over, and he did that in front of the girls and in front of Sid. Okay, so for some reason he's pissed off about it, although I wouldn't have been. I would have been happy. I was like, okay, yeah, I took care of that threat, and better yet, the girl I'm dating masturbating. She saw me do it too, so now she's turned on. But instead, he started being an asshole to her, so she decided to leave. Okay, but he stopped her and he apologized, and they ended up having some fucking incredible. From what we know, they must have had some incredible sex, because the next scene we have, she's fucking cooking him eggs on the fucking grill there in the hotel room. So it must have been pretty good. So he's sitting there in the breakfast table eating the eggs as she cooked them in his fucking underwear, and she's fully clothed. And then he fucking takes her on the ground. Okay, starts kissing her, and she asks him stupid stuff like, "What do you do with your girlfriends once you're done with them?" He says, "Well, I've never had a girlfriend before," which is kind of it's weird for him to say that out loud. Me personally, I would not have said that at all. Okay, but this is a clue that maybe he's kind of getting into her as well. Because if I was really crazy about this girl, I would probably reveal something like that. Okay, but if I wasn't, I wouldn't say anything. Okay, so to me, that tells me that he's having he's thinking of her more than just a fuck buddy. Okay, like he likes being around her. Okay, and that happens to us every once in a while. Okay, yes, we are about sex. Obviously, that's what leads us. Okay, but if you want us to stick around, you got to offer more than just sex. There's got to be more to you than just that. Okay, because if you're a high value man, okay, and women, and there's not very first. Disclaimer right now, whenever I'm talking about these romance movies, I'm always talking about the high value man. I'm always talking about the 0.001% of the men that are out there, okay? Because those are the only guys that ever get fucking represented in these goddamn movies, okay? I'm not talking about the 99.999% of the men that are out there that do not get represented in rom-coms, that do not get represented in these romantic fucking movies, okay? But since you women think that all men are like that 0.001%, then that's what I got to talk about. I got to talk about only the 0.001% of the guys that are out there, okay? And Zach Mayo falls in that category because he is a ladies' man. He grew up in a whorehouse. He knows how to fuck. He's confident with women. He knows how to spar with women verbally. He knows how to fucking flirt with them. He's very comfortable around women, okay? Because of the way that he was raised. He grew up fucking prostitutes, Filipino prostitutes, since he was a fucking 11 years old. So he knows his way around a fucking pussy, okay? He knows where the clit is. He knows where the G-spot is, okay? He probably learned that shit when he was 12, okay? So he knows what he's fucking doing, okay? So he has no need to be nervous or anything around a girl because he knows that they're disposable. One goes, gets another one. Okay, that's the way he looks at women, okay? And that women find attractive. They want to know that this guy can have a lot of girls, but he's with you. So if he's a high-value man like he is, she's going to want to hold on to him because if she doesn't, another girl's going to take him. You see what I mean? Okay, girls only act that way when they see that in a guy. Okay, if this guy's an average guy, they don't give a shit if he fucks another girl. If he fucking, she's happy. Oh, thank God. I don't have to feel guilty now. The other woman took him off my hands. Okay, but that's not what Zach is. Okay, he's a high value guy, so she wants to earn his validation. She wants him to validate her. Okay, and because he is that way. Okay, it's not because he's a lady. He is a ladies' man, but he doesn't understand intimacy. He doesn't understand what it's like to be in love. He doesn't understand what it's like to have a girlfriend. Okay, the only people that should have been close in his life, his parents. His mom killed herself when he was a little boy, so he never got attached to her. He never got to get to know her or learn anything about how to treat women or any of that kind of shit. Okay, because his mom died. She checked out when he was a little boy, and his dad didn't give a shit about him. His dad did not want to raise him. The Navy made him take his son in. Okay, he didn't want to do it. Okay, he's an alpha Chad. Okay, he goes off on ship. He likes to fuck prostitutes. Likes to get drunk. He doesn't have time for this fucking daddy bullshit. That's what he called it. This daddy bullshit. Okay, that's not who he is. Okay, so of course he can't relate to his son in that. He can't give his son any sort of love and affection or encouragement. He talks down to his son. He tells his son, "You're never gonna make it. You're a fucking loser, just like me, just like your old man." His way of showing his son love is to buy him some fucking prostitutes for his college graduation present. That's the way he relates to his son. He doesn't have any sort of like legitimate feelings for his son, or maybe he doesn't understand how to have feelings for anybody but himself, and he passed that on to his son. So that's the kind of person that Zach is. So when he says he doesn't have a girlfriend, he's never had a girlfriend before. It's not because he doesn't want a girlfriend. He just doesn't understand what that is. On a mental note, he understands what that means. He knows people that have girlfriends. He knows what that is. But on an emotional side, he doesn't really understand that. He doesn't grasp that. He doesn't know how to trust anyone. He doesn't know how to fucking show his emotions to anybody. Okay, the two people he should have learned how to do this from didn't work out. His mom died, and his dad didn't give a shit. His dad couldn't give that to him. You see what I mean? And so that's what he meant by I don't have a girlfriend. He doesn't know how to get close to anybody. All right. So anyway, the very next scene that we have here is they're doing a water survival course. So basically, they use this mechanism to simulate your plane crash, your jet that you're piloting crashing into the ocean. You're going to be upside down underwater. You got to figure out a way to get out of the cockpit and escape. Okay, before you drown. Okay, so they're doing these drills here every day. Okay, and you got Daniels is on there. Daniels is played by David Caruso. He's that redheaded ginger from CSI Miami. You know the fuck he is. Before that, he was on NYPD Blue or some shit like that. I don't give a shit about this fucking guy. I have no idea why these fucking nerdy girls thought he was so fucking hot in the 90s. He was on the cover of all the fucking TV guides and shit. Because I guess NYPD Blue was a popular show back then. Okay, and he became this fucking stud. He even had his own fucking movie. I think it was called Jade. It was one of those fucking erotic. Yeah, he was an erotic thriller. Get the fuck out of here. here. That was with him and Linda Fiorentino. Have any of you seen that movie? Unfortunately, I fucking saw it. It's a fucking piece of shit. All right, yeah, he was in an erotic. Yeah, look at this guy. He was in an erotic thriller. This guy's about as good looking as my asshole. Okay, but in this movie, he's fucking he's this coward named Daniels. He's fucking scared. He got his ass kicked by a Gunny Foley. Used that as made an example out of him in the fucking martial arts class. You know, the guy didn't even try to fight. He didn't even try to defend himself. He just got his ass kicked in front of everybody. Okay, and now he's got to go on this thing. He's fucking scared to death. And of course, he fucking panics when he's underwater. He even fucking pulls the hose for the scuba guy that's supposed to save his life. Okay, so he endangers that guy too. So Gunny Foley has to jump in there himself. Okay, and save this asshole, okay, from drowning. He has to perform CPR in front of the whole fucking class, okay? So Daniels is out. He's not cut out to be an officer in the Navy, and not at all, okay? But Mayo goes through. He does just fine, and even Seagar, the one girl that's in his class, okay, she goes through and she makes it out just fine, okay? So Perryman has to do it again though. Perryman's this big tall black guy. That's one of Zach's roommates, okay? He has to do it again because he didn't do it in time, okay? He failed, all right? So not everybody makes it through this test, okay? But it's a test of your confidence, okay? What's gonna happen in danger, in stressful situations, okay? And obviously they failed, but Zach passed and Seagar passed. But of course, Gunny Foley basically tells Seagar, hey, listen, you still gotta get over the wall, because even though she passed this class, in the obstacle course, she could not climb that wall. She didn't have enough upper body strength. She couldn't do it. So she's failing the physical part of it, okay? And of course, he's gonna point that out to her. That's his job. His job is to show you your flaws, show you where you're weak is so that you can do something about it, okay? Now, okay, and the most important part of the scene here is that when Zach looks at Gunny Foley, when he saves a Daniel's life there, when he performs CPR, I think Zach is starting to realize something that Gunny Foley's not just being a hard ass to be a hard ass. Okay, he's legitimately trying to teach these kids something. He's trying to teach this class something. Okay, and he's trying to do it by leading by example. Okay, yeah, he talks a lot of shit. He puts them down. He calls them slimy worms. He tells them they're never going to graduate. He tells them they're no good. He tells them their performance is unacceptable. They are the worst class he's ever been fucking the disprivilege of ever having to be stuck with. You know, he says all that shit. But the bottom line is, okay, when push comes to shove, he can back up everything that he fucking says. Okay, he can back up everything he fucking says, all right? This guy panicked under pressure. He jumped right in there and saved that guy's fucking life, okay? And I think that Zach's starting to realize that maybe this guy is not full of shit. Maybe he's not being an asshole just to be an asshole. Maybe there is a strength in him that Zach has never seen by any man before in his entire life, much less his dad. Okay, and I think that maybe this is the first hint that maybe Zach has seen him as the father figure that he never had, you know? You see what I mean? And I think that's what he's starting to notice that, okay, about Gunny. Now, me personally, I never felt that way about my drill instructors. I thought they were all assholes. They enjoy torturing us, and they enjoy doing it because that's what happened to them when they were going through boot camp, okay? So this is their way of giving back to the world, okay? That's what I think. Anyway, but you know, what the fuck do I know, right? Okay, so that's going on here, okay? Now, later on in the scene, Zach and his roommates, there's an impromptu inspection. So they're in their room there, and all of a sudden Gunny Foley tells them he's going to do a room inspection, okay? So that means they have to get everything ready. They got to stand at attention. All the uniform items got to be polished, squared, covered in a line. All their shirts have to be folded specifically a certain way. Their bunks have to be made, we call them racks, okay? I feel weird calling them a bunk. Okay, their racks have to be made correctly. They're going to measure the folds on the bed and all that kind of shit. They're going to do all that shit, all right? Well, Perryman, the tall black guy that's in that room with Zach, Sid is in there, and Daniels was in there, but like I said, he just got dropped. He just got his DOR. Okay, well, Perryman is having a bad time shining his buckles. Okay, his buckles aren't very shiny. He knows he's going to fail. If he fails this impromptu room inspection, they're going to cancel his liberty this weekend, which means he's not going to get to leave base this weekend. He's not going to be able to see his family. Okay, his wife and his little kid are fucking stuck in a fucking hotel. All the money that he has, that he's earning from going to OCS, goes towards paying for their fucking hotel room. Okay, and if he fails his inspection, they're not going to give him his liberty this weekend, which means he's not going to be able to see his family. Okay, and he can't let that happen. Okay, so he's asking Zach, he's like, hey, can you help me out, please? Okay, I know goddamn well you're trying to sell me these uniform items that you have hidden up there, okay, that are perfectly polished. They will pass inspection. He gave him shit about it earlier. He said, hey, if you selling that stuff to us, you know, is that worth us all getting kicked out of OCS for? He's like, well, I don't see anybody complaining about it but you. That's how Zach is, because Zach is an asshole. He's just trying to make money out of this whole fucking situation, okay? Well, Zach tells him, hey, well, I wouldn't want you to get an honor violation, you know? So Mayo says, fuck you, I'm not gonna help you out, you know? And of course, Gunny was standing right there in the doorway. He heard this whole conversation. So now he knows that Zach Mayo has contraband in his room and that he's been selling it to the other candidates, okay? So everyone calls that attention. He goes in there, okay? And then Gunny makes a speech, okay? He says, every class, there's always one joker who thinks he's smarter than me. And in this class, it just so happens to be you, mayonnaise. Okay, and he hits a stick, which he always carries with him, okay, and all the contraband falls off, all right? Now he tells the other candidates, clear the room, and he looks at Mayo, and now Mayo realizes he's in deep shit. He's gonna get kicked out now. Okay, this is an honor violation, okay? He was selling contraband inside the fucking school, which you're not allowed to do. Okay, yeah, it's a big no-no. I remember this kind of happened to me. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to one of my, one of the recruits that was in boot camp with me. He got caught smoking a fucking cigar in boot camp. How he got that cigar, I have no fucking idea. How he lit that cigar, how did he get a lighter to do it? I have no fucking idea, but somehow he got caught, and there was a big fucking mock court-martial that happened that we all were forced to attend, okay? Yeah, so no joke. And that was for smoking a fucking cigar in boot camp, all right? Anyway, so that's happening. So he's been selling contraband, which is worse, okay? So basically, Gunny Foley tells him, I want your DOR. And Zach is like, no, sir. You can kick me out, but I'm not quitting. He's like, grab your fatigues, Mayo. By the end of this weekend, I'm gonna have your DOR. Now, DOR stands for dropped on request. That means you quit. They can't kick you out unless you do something really, really bad, but they can make it so difficult for you that you quit on your own. You sign your DOR, your dropped on request. That means you're requesting to be dropped out of this fucking class. Like, you can't handle it, I give up, okay? Basically, that's the only way they can get you out, okay? They technically can't kick you out, all right? Unless you, like, kill somebody or something, you know? So, yeah, so that's what they gotta do. And he's like, I ain't quitting. You're gonna have to kick me out. So basically, he's going to get tortured for the rest of the week. He's going to get fucking some IT. Okay, now what we call IT in the Marine Corps, we call that incentive training. Okay, which means they basically make you do all these different exercises over and over again, so you can perform a class on how to do the exercises the right way, and you will never do it correctly. So you have to do it over and over again until the drill instructor gets tired. Okay, you see what I mean? And when's the drill instructor going to get tired? He ain't. Okay, so you're going to get fucking smoked. Okay, and you cannot fucking stop. You must keep going over and over again, and he fucking puts him through the roof. He makes him grab his M16, you know, like this, you know, you know. Oh my God, it brings back memories. You know, knees high, which means your knees have to go up to your waist, you know, and you can't stop, you know. And he makes him do cadence, you know, the whole time, Smedley Butler was the son of a bitch, you know, that kind of shit, you know. You know, oh, good times. Okay, so we get smoked all weekend, you know. What was the one that we had? Smedley was he had 7-year itch. He lined up 100 girls against the wall. He swore to God he'd fuck them all. He fucked 98 when he was through. He backed off, jacked off, fucked the other 2, you know. And he's getting hosed down the entire time, you know. But he ain't giving up. He's putting up with it. He's putting up with it. Zach is getting smoked, but he ain't giving up. He's putting up with it, okay? Now, he points out that Mayo has no buddies. Okay, he's like, you don't have any, oh, that's a forgotten, Mayo. You don't have any friends here. All you have are customers, you know? Which is true. He hasn't really made friends with anybody except for Sid, you know? Okay? You know, as he watches them go on libo, he watches while he's getting smoked. He's watching his classmates. They got their sexy, you know, alpha uniforms on, you know, with their hat and the blacks, you know, the black dress uniforms, you know, the Navy guys wear, the officers wear, and they're going on their liberty, you know, and he's stuck there getting fucking incentive training, you know, which sucks. I've been there. I know what it's like. Although there was no fucking libo and fucking boot camp for me. Are you out of your fucking mind? He's at a fucking Disneyland compared to the shit that I had to go through. Okay. So anyway, so he points out Mayo has no friends, okay, and he watches them all go on liberty, okay, and he has to do push-ups in the mud, okay, you know, perform the perfect push-up, you know. It's like Marine Corps push-up things is 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. Like that. It's not just 1, 2, 3. It's not like that, all right? So he has to do those too, all right? He has to push up in the mud. And Gunny Foley points out that Seeger, she declined her own liberty. She decided not to go on liberty this weekend so that she could spend that weekend doing pull-ups and improving her body strength, okay? So he tells May, he says, that girl right there has more heart than you will ever fucking have. Okay, look at her. She gave up her libo just so she could make herself stronger. She did it on her own. You know, because like I said, her weakness was she couldn't get over the wall. She didn't have enough upper body strength to do it, okay? You know, she got more heart than you'll ever have, you know? And the whole time, Zach Mayo, the whole time this is happening to him, he's looking, whenever he gets upset, he looks at Gunny like that, and Gunny's like, don't you eyeball me, boy. Don't you eyeball me. Okay, which is true. This happens so many times during this scene here, during this whole montage here, okay? You are not allowed to look at your drill instructors in the eye. When I was in boot camp, if I looked at my drill instructor, if I looked at him right in the eye, eyeballs! eyeballs. You know, better get your goddamn eyeballs off me, boy. You know, that's what well, they didn't say goddamn this day. Get your daggone eyeballs off me, boy. You want to eyeball me, boy? You want to fuck me with the ass, don't you? Yeah, you do. You know, that kind of shit. They would do stuff like that to us. And we're like, no, sir. This recruit does not want you, sir. You know, don't you eyeball me, boy. Don't you eyeball me. Yeah, they do that shit all the fucking time. Oh, my God. And they're doing that. So throughout the course of this whole montage, this is happening to him. Don't you eyeball me. You know, that's going on. Get your goddamn eyeballs off me right now, boy. You know, that kind of shit. They're doing that all the time, all right? So he's getting smoked, okay? Foley's like, no, I read your file, Mayo. You know, he's like, I know about your mama. I know your father is an alcoholic whore chaser. That's why you don't mess, Mayo. Deep down inside, you know that these other boys and girls are better than you. No, sir. No, they're not. You know, he's like, isn't that right? Yes, it is, Mayo. No, sir. No, sir. Don't you eyeball me, boy. Good times. All right, anyway. So this goes on all weekend, okay? Now, a lot of people are like, oh, God, you know, Zach Mayo's getting smoked and shit. And I mean, a lot of people thought that as well. So did I when I first saw this movie. But there's something everyone forgot. And I had to watch it again before I realized it, you know. And that is that, you know, Gunny Foley is there, too. Everyone forgets that. Gunny Foley gave up his weekend so he could smoke this asshole all weekend. So he had to give up his weekend as well as Zach just to smoke this guy. You see what I mean? So he's invested in this as well. It's not just one way. He's proving that he is fucking invested in Zach Mayo's training as well. Everyone forgets that part. Just because he's the one smoking him, he gave up his weekend to do this too. Okay, he's stuck there as well. Okay, so this goes on all weekend. Okay, he gives Mayo a 96. Now, normally what that means in the military, a 96 means 96 hours of liberty. It's a 4-day weekend, basically. Okay, well, in this case, a 96 of the drill institution do this shit to us all day. Hey, we're gonna give you a 96. So we're all excited, like, oh my God, we're your 4 days off. You know, no. A 96 means you lay down on your back, okay, your legs together, and your heels are 6 inches off the floor. And then you move your legs up to 90 degrees, okay? And then you go down 6 inches off the floor, hold it there, now bring it back up, 90 degrees. Down, 6 inches, look, you better get those goddamn heels 6 inches off the daggone deck! Job on me, boy. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. And then up. Okay. Yeah. And you do that like about 500 times until the fucking drill instructor gets tired. Okay. So yeah, it fucking hurts. Okay. That's a 96. He gives him a 96. Okay. And Fool's like, come on, Mayo, let's quit this charade and go get some beers, huh? You're not officer material. Which is exactly what his dad told him that in the beginning of the movie. He says, like, you're not officer type. Look at you. Officers don't have tattoos. They're not like us. That's what his dad told him at the beginning of the movie. You know, when he told his dad that he was going to go to OCS, you know? He says, you're not officer material. You don't give a shit about anyone but yourself. Which is true. Your classmates know this. Yeah, that's true. You're the kind of guy that would zip off one day in my F-14 and sell it to the Cubans. No, sir. No, sir. Don't you eyeball me, boy. No, sir. Wow, yeah, he's in it. He's in it. He's all the way in. This candidate believes he will make a great officer, sir. I love my country. Foley's like, sell it to the Air Force. Now, when I was in boot camp, whenever you got caught using the word, there's no I. You're not allowed to use the word I. So whenever you got caught using the word I, they would say, I say it. Say it, I wish I joined the Navy. Say it, I wish I joined the Navy. They make you say it out loud like 60 times. Okay, shout to the Air Force. Why would a slick hustler like you sign up for this? I want to fly jets. My mama wants to fly jets. Don't you eyeball me, boy. He's like, Jesus, I'm not talking about flying. I'm talking about your character. Yeah. I've changed since I've been here, sir. I've changed. Oh, that's bullshit, Mayo. You just polished up your act. That's all you did. You just shined it up. I want your DOR. No, sir, I ain't gonna quit. Spell it. DOR. I ain't gonna quit, sir. I ain't gonna quit. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, you and your daddy can go. You can go get drunk. Go whore chasing. I want your DOR. No, sir, I ain't gonna quit, sir. All right, then you can forget it. You're out. He's like, and here's the best scene in the movie. Don't you do it. No, don't you do it. Don't you. I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go. I got nothing. Finally, some acting in this movie from Richard Gere. Finally. He went there, man. Okay, now I said this before. He's very stoic. He doesn't really show his emotions. We've seen him do anger and some minor emotions, like, you know, like a little bit of funniness, you know, a little bit of humor, a little bit of fucking annoying, you know, annoyed, you know. But he's never gone all out fucking emo until this scene, because he's under a lot of stress. Now, when you're under a lot of stress, like I said in the last video, boot camp does not turn you into something that you're not, okay? What it does, it brings out what's already there, okay? This is who he is. Deep down inside, when you get through all the bullshit, okay, he doesn't feel he belongs anywhere. There's no plan B in his life. If this doesn't work out, he doesn't know what the fuck he's gonna do, okay? He feels that, you know, he can't think of anything better. He's not qualified for anything better. You know, he's afraid he's gonna end up like his dad. This is the only fucking plan he has. This is his only plan A. That's all he had. He has no plan B in his life. If he fucks this up, he's got nothing. He's got nothing. He didn't plan for anything else. There's nothing else that he was working on. There's no contingency plan. This was it. He threw everything he had into this, okay? Now, he realized he's got nothing, okay? And he's right, because everything that Gunny told him was correct. He's got no fucking friends. He doesn't know how to relate to people. He doesn't know how to mesh. He doesn't know how to think about anybody but himself. Now, before you get mad at him for being this way, a lot of this wasn't really his fault. He didn't know any better. He wasn't raised to be unselfish. You got to understand that. His mother committed the most selfish act you can do. She took herself out of the equation when he was a little boy. And his dad did not want him. His dad did not want to raise him. He didn't want to be stuck with a little fucking boy. He wanted to go whore chasing and drinking. This is how he was raised. Okay, he doesn't know any better. So now that he's got an opportunity to do something with his life, be better than his father was, his dad couldn't become an officer, but he's trying to become an officer. He realized he's got nothing else. If he fucks this up, there was nothing else he could do. There's nothing else he can fall back on. He doesn't know how to do anything else. You see what I mean? He doesn't know how to stop being the kind of person that he is. He doesn't know how. That's why he's going through this. Like I said, I totally understand this character, you know? So that happens here. He's got nowhere else to go. He starts crying, you know, like I said, and Gunny takes him back. He says, all right, Mayo. You know, and he takes him back. He says, all right. Like he earned it now. It's okay. I put you through two days of fucking hell. You have now convinced me that you've got what it takes to stay. Not to graduate, but to continue your training. Okay? And while that happens, when he tells me, okay, you can go back inside, change your clothes, all that kind of shit, there's Sid and fucking and Paula and Lynette are all on a boat. They're on a speedboat, and they pull down their pants and moon them while they're there, okay? Because I guess they're drunk and partying, you know, and Zach obviously wasn't there. He was getting hazed. They tell him, don't give up, don't quit, blah, 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 that kind of thing, you know? And one other thing I can tell you for sure is I've been in this situation before as well. I got hazed, and I've also been the one that was out there with the girls, you know, my friend's girlfriend, and then the girl I was dating as well. And I will tell you this right now, Sid fucked both of them. He fucked both of them. Oh yeah, they ain't gonna tell you this in this movie, but he did. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of Officer and a Gentleman. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.